Doing a couple of technical things. Hang on. Okay, it looks like I am now live. And again, we're a few minutes early, so I always like making sure everything is working correctly before we get going here. Uh, on my YouTube channel there is a chat feature, and I've actually put up there where it says ask your questions here. So if you have a question this morning, because that's the main purpose of doing these once a month on Saturday, is to let you ask me general questions about French Polynesia and just to keep it on target with cruising and, of course, places to stay for pre-post cruise and general information about the island. So if you have a question that fits in one of those categories, please do use the chat feature because I am monitoring it just so I can see if we have questions coming in, and so I can answer your questions here. And nothing yet, but let's give it a few minutes here. And again, if there's no questions this morning, you know that I will continue to do a little presentation. I'll share some pictures of mine and so forth so that you can sort of enjoy. And remember, the pictures and video I share here are 99% of the time stuff that I've taken or Zell and I have taken ourselves over our 35 trips to French Polynesia. So you're getting firsthand knowledge here that, you know, when I share something, it's because we've actually done that, been there, and so forth. So anyhow, again, if you got a question, I'll do it again here just so everyone can see it. Let's see, ask questions here. Okay, I did it a second time just so you guys can find it real easy. Anyhow, hopefully some of you are going to actually have a question this morning or two, and there's no limit. And again, we'll wait here about, we'll wait 10 minutes to see if we have any questions coming in before I actually start any type of presentation. Just so you know, that picture behind me right there, that's taken on the island of Wahiti. And of course, the beautiful Paul Gauguin is in the background there, and the tender approaches the tender drop-off location. So, love Wahiti. Wahiti is one of those, Huahiti, Wahiti, however you want to pronounce it. It's one of those islands that sort of, a lot of people don't go and visit and so forth, and it's such a shame, you know, there's no major resorts here. There's some nice boutique places and so forth, but there's no resorts here. But it is stunning and very lush, and the people are just genuine and lovely people and so forth. So it has much more of a the real Polynesian vibe. So I love this island and so forth. And again, it's one of those islands, unless if you're out on the lagoon, which I usually am with my groups and so forth like that, we've rented cars and driven around here quite often. We've rented scooters and gone around and so forth like that. Done some other excursions and so forth. But this is a lovely island. And the little community of Fare, F-A-R-E, is lovely. Just one main street and a few side streets and so forth, but lovely. And again, the people are just so genuine and so forth. So anyhow, no questions yet. I'm seeing here. Let's give it another 6 or 7 minutes here and so forth. What else can I say? Oh, you know, just personal things here. I'm gonna make my mug here a little bit bigger here, and there we go. And now you get to see the wrinkles. But what I wanted to point out, over the last 3 months, I've lost 25 pounds. And yeah, I'm doing the Manjaro journey right now. My A1C went from 8.3 to 5.9, and hopefully it'll continue to go down a little bit more. I still got about 25 pounds to go, and so before I do the next group cruise here in November. Hopefully I'm going to be 50 pounds lighter than I was here this spring. So I'll be able to hop in the water and go snorkeling and think that I'm decades younger. But, the trade-off, of course, is everything gets, a little bit more pronounced, the wrinkles and everything else. I don't have the balloon face to fill it all out. And then, of course, I notice I got a little turkey neck starting right here and so forth. So I don't know if I'll dabble and change that and everything else. But, of course, I'm looking around too. So when you don't see me looking at the camera, I'm looking at one of my monitor screens. But I am on a journey. So wish me luck on that. Let's get my mug out of the way again. And there we go. No questions yet. And remember, the whole idea is to answer your questions. So hopefully we're going to have some brave people out there this morning that are going to actually ask a question here. So anyhow, what's going on? I've taken a few more reservations over this last month. Actually, I know I've taken 5 or 6 more reservations over this last month. The next group cruise here in November, which I'll share here in a little bit longer, we are up to 27 of us, and I'm excited. I don't let the group get larger than 30. It's manageable for me, and of course I go with the group as well 90% of the time. And so I'm not only here to answer your questions and help you plan your trip over a lifetime, but I'm on the ship with you. And of course, I plan all those beautiful private excursions and so forth, which I'll share here in a little bit and so forth. But right now, there's 27 of us. I got room for like about 3 more. And again, all my vendors can take and accommodate up to about 30. So I don't like going over 30 for a multitude of reasons, mainly because it's easier for me to manage. It's more intimate. Everyone gets to know each other and so forth. And remember, if you don't go with me on a group cruise, I can still book you on any of the ships that are frequenting over in French Polynesia. I can book you direct. That's not a problem. I am a certified travel advisor as well. So feel free. And when you don't go with me on one of my groups and I book you direct on the date of your choice, I always add some nice onboard credit for you. So you can't go wrong. And then, of course, you still get me to help you plan your trip and so forth. Let's see. Any questions? Let's reboot here just so I can see if we got any questions popping. And nothing yet. Okay. So we are still waiting. We'll give it another 3 or 4 minutes here to see if we got any questions before I move on and so forth. So what else? I got lots of different group cruises coming up, of course. I got the one here in November, which I'll share here a little bit. I have another one in March of next year, which is when the Paul Gauguin comes out of dry dock out of Singapore, and it goes from Singapore to Darwin, Australia. I have a group of people going on that, which is a beautiful cruise, and again, the ship is all spick and span as it comes out of dry dock. I have a nice group already signed up going in May 29th of next year, and that'll be an 11-night Society and Tuamotus run. And again, a nice group of people signing up for that, including 4 single people, which I will give a little bit more detail here in a little bit on and so forth. And then I have something planned in the fall of 2027, and I already have something planned for the spring of 2028 in French Polynesia. So lots of exciting things coming up over the next couple of years here. No questions. Okay. Let me reboot here again just to make sure I don't miss anything. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. No, nothing yet. I can see some people are watching, so I know some of you are out there watching. So, hey, be brave. Ask a question. You know, the question you never ask is the dumb one. No, that's not right. How does that go? A question. if you don't ask a question. That's not a good thing. Interestingly enough, when people do ask a question, a lot of other people that are watching, they go, oh yeah, I want to know about that. And so not only do I answer your question directly to you, but also everyone gets the benefit of you asking a question and then, of course, giving me giving the answer and so forth. So there's good reasons for you to ask me questions. So nothing yet. I don't see anything. And so let's get on with this here on a little presentation and so forth. And again, feel free to ask me questions anytime during the presentation. And of course, I can stop and answer it. I'll keep on monitoring it here just so I can see if a question comes in or not. And nothing yet. All right, so let's move. Let's move towards what I'm going to share today. And this is, of course, about the group cruise in November 21st of this year. Again, 27 people coming, and I'm excited about that. Again, I have room for a few more people, and that's it. I'm going to close it down. I do not want to go above 30 people. So, hey, if you've got an inkling, and I think you will after I share here a little bit, get a hold of me, and I'll be more than happy to sign you up and, of course, help you plan your trip of a lifetime. Anyhow, as I said earlier, the picture you're seeing right here, that's on Wahine, Huahine, Wahine, however you want to pronounce it. And that's just a lovely location there. All right, turn that off. With the Palkugan in the background, and this is the tender drop-off place here on Wahine. And the first island we visit, of course, after we leave Papeete the following day is this lovely island of Wahine. And of course, I do have a private excursion planned for this particular island. And here are some pictures of it. This is on my vendor's boat, and my group out there flopping around in the water, taking advantage of looking at the fish and the beautiful coral, and everyone's having a lovely time. This is an easy drift snorkel, so if you're not a strong swimmer or a snorkeler, this is a lovely one to start out with because it's just a gentle little drift. All you do is plop in there and let that gentle little current take you down, and after everyone hops in the water, the boat will follow until we get down there about 400, 500 yards down the lagoon here, and then of course he'll pick everyone back up again. But look at that, beautiful water and so forth, everyone getting ready to have a wonderful time. This is another snorkeling spot that we stop at on Wahine. It has a little bigger fish and some lovely coral, of course. In the background is the island of Raiatea and Taha, about 12 miles away, 13 miles away. But look at that, beautiful. You can see the coral heads in there and so forth. Just a lovely place. And then we do a beach barbecue on this particular one. We will do the all-day excursion on this one, meaning 3/4 really, it's 6 hours, 6.5 hours. But a lovely barbecue Polynesian lunch, including a basic bar and so forth. And of course, you can dabble your feet in the water as you're eating your lunch. But look at that. Does that look like fun? Oh yeah, I'm ready to go. And here's another reverse picture of it and so forth. People enjoying eating there in the water and so forth. This is the bar over here. And some more seating here if you don't want to dangle your feet in the water. That's me right there. Right there. So I am taking this picture here with my drone. And yeah, I got a control right there with my drone. Look at that. Lovely spot. Doesn't get much better. A wonderful island for our first stop as you're getting your sea legs still and so forth, or trying to catch up on your sleep if you did the red eye coming over. Look at that. Then we off to Atutaki. And Atutaki, beautiful lagoon. I call it the poor man's Bora Bora. The lagoon is just as stunning as the lagoon on Bora Bora. You just don't have that beautiful mountain backdrop of Mount Otumano on Bora Bora, but the lagoon itself is just as stunning as Bora Bora. Look at that. Everyone, this is my group here. We're loading it up to continue our journey. We just got done having a beautiful barbecue lunch. And then we are off to One Foot Island. And this is my vendor's boat. He has two of these that we'll have. And we have a large group, so I'll likely have two of his boats. And this is beautiful One Foot Island right here. It's just gorgeous and beautiful. This is where the big blue-lipped clams are and so forth. Lovely, just lovely. This is my vendor here, and we're at his private motu. He owns this entire motu. This is Motu Mahina, and we're the only ones that will be enjoying his private motu. All the other ship excursions and other private vendors, they go down to a different motu, and usually there's 3 or 4 vendors down there, all sharing the kitchen and so forth. And what happens, of course, is people on the other vendor boats, if they're the last vendor there, the last boat there, you may not get a piece of chicken. So the nice thing about going with my group and so forth is we're the only ones there enjoying this beautiful location there. So there's never any shortage of food. There's never any shortage of beer, soda, water, tea, and of course some rum punch. But look at that, lots of shade and so forth, and just a beautiful setup. Go in the back here, hop on a hammock, or grab a banana off a tree. Beautiful. And here's the barbecue going, and of course fried bananas, some mahi-mahi, some chicken, some taro chips. Yes, I said taro chips here and so forth. Just lovely, all sorts of things. And one of the nice things about my vendor's motu, it has a bathroom. No, it's not the most fancy bathroom, but that is the bathroom right back here and so forth. And everyone, the girls, of course, hugging the line here and so forth. And this is One Foot Island again, the famous palm tree everyone likes to take a picture of. I've taken this picture many times. This will be my 8th or 9th trip to Atutaki, so I know this island very well as well. Let's see here. I'm just looking at things here to see if we have any questions again. Bear with me. Nothing yet. Okay, but I see people are watching. This is good. So let's continue on here. And then we go to the island of Rarotonga. And this is me and my lovely better half Zell, and we're enjoying Wigmore's waterfall there on the island of Rarotonga. And then from there, of course, we head back towards French Polynesia. It's about 500 miles. It takes a day to get back and forth. And watching the beautiful sunset here as we left Rarotonga heading for Bora Bora. And of course, here we are. We arrive at Bora Bora. This is actually taken from from Taha in the lagoon. Mount Otumano there is about 13 miles away. And yes, that's a real rainbow. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And look at the water here in Bora Bora. Look at the different shades, different hues and so forth. The Paul Gauguin sits in the upper left-hand side there, and of course the Mount Otumano sitting and coming out of the lagoon. This is the private motu for Paul Gauguin, and look at that, just lovely. Again, the only ones who get to use this particular motu right here is guest of the Paul Gauguin, and of course they always have some sodas over there and water and maybe a pretzel or two, but there's no big facilities here. But you get this lovely location to just sort of enjoy with a beautiful view of Mount Otumano. And then of course I always have it set up that my group can go up on the bridge and while we're cruising along in the lagoon of Taha, and of course Mount Otumano on Bora Bora there, approximately 14 miles away from here. But look at that. My captain always has, coffee for us and some danishes and so forth like that. We are well taken care of. And then on leaving from Bora Bora, we'll go to Taha, to Motu Mahana, and this is the backside of Motu Mahana with, of course, the Bogogan sitting there in the lagoon. Off the beaten track, isn't that wonderful? This is the nice thing about going on a small ship. And the large ships that so many people go from the west coast of the United States that are heading to Australia, and they stop going through French Polynesia a little bit, they're too big. They cannot go into little lagoons like this. So this is one of the advantages of going with me. I only pick on small ships. And here we are at Motu Aitaha again at Motu Mahana. And of course the Polynesian hosts are there to greet us and so forth. And they're just lovely people and so forth. Just lovely. And of course Motu Mahana is famous for the floating bar. The bar comes to you. You're out in the lagoon playing around, and all you do is whistle or wave, and the bartender will take the floating bar over to you and make whatever concoction you want, or give you a nice cold beer. This is taken from my drone at Motu Mahana, and look at that. You can see the coral heads in there and so forth. Everyone enjoying themselves. Lots of shade and so forth. Just a beautiful day on Motu Mahana. And just a side view of Motu Mahana again. And this is where we're doing the beach barbecue. People are lining up for it over here. And over here there's a second covering structure right here where there's the bar. And you can have anything you want. Remember, everything is inclusive, including the bar tab, the gratuities, you name it, the Wi-Fi. It's all inclusive on this particular cruise. And of course, one of the things we do from Motu Mahana, I take my group, or the people that want to, we go on the excursion over to the drift snorkel. And this is taken at one of the drift snorkel locations on Taha. Look at that. The coral, the colorful coral, the colorful fish. And look at the setting here. And in the background, yes, that's Mount Otumano on Bora Bora, 13 miles away. This doesn't get better than this. When you envision or dreaming about going to French Polynesia, a lot of you probably have some type of dream that includes something that looks like this. And go with me, and you'll get that opportunity. Here's the same location again, the drift snorkel here on Taha with Mount Otumano in the background. I can see here, it's hard for you guys to see it, but I can see some of my group in here doing the drift snorkel. And there's actually 3 lanes here, 1, 2, and 3. And each one gets a little bit more difficult, a little bit more coral you got to be worrying about that you don't scrape yourself on with bigger fish. And of course, you just have to maybe raise your tummy or pull your knees up so you don't hit the coral and so forth. But there's 3 passes here, and the vendor we use will usually allow us to do 3 passes. You don't have to do all 3. You can come down here, and my beautiful better half Cell, she usually just sits down here with a little bit of fish food, and she feeds the fish and takes beautiful pictures, which hopefully you'll see a few here. And here's part of my group again taking off for the drift snorkel on route number 1, the easiest one. And they're getting ready to zip off there. And again, I took this with my drone. But look at that. Look at the coral, the color in here and so forth. Just beautiful. And then we're off to Bora Bora again. And this is Papa, the Polynesian family I use for my private excursions for my group. Part of my group up here watching Papa getting ready to feed an eel. I call him George the eel. And here's part of my group again, kissing the puppies, as we say, which are the stingrays. And Papa is sitting here saying, this is how you do it, right here, pucker up, and give them a little kiss and so forth. And, so much of the fun part about taking pictures of the group are the expressions. Look at, she's got her lips out here. This one's like going, wow, do I want to do that? And of course, Papa's in the water at 68 years old, showing people how to do it. And this is taken from the location that we have another private excursion for we do the Polynesian barbecue on Bora Bora from my vendor's part of the motu that he has. And look at the view here at Mount Otumano. This is one of his boats that we hop on. Usually we'll have two boats. Look at that, just beautiful. There's Papa serenading us with Mount Otumano in the background. So Papa does it all. He's the patriarch of this family, but this family spoils us. And then we're off to Moorea. And here's the Paul Gauguin sitting in the bay here. And yes, I took this with my drone. Just beautiful. Moorea is one of those islands that calls you to come back. A lot of people, after they've gone to French Polynesia for the first time, they'll do another cruise, but they'll do like a pre-stay for 3 days or a post-stay here on Moorea. It's so accessible. It's only a half-hour ferry boat ride over there. And Moorea is famous for its jagged peaks. I mean, when you look up here and you could say, yes, when is King Kong going to jump out from around one of those particular spikes and so forth. It's just a stunning island. It was the first island I went to. The first time Zell took me, which was our honeymoon, and this was 1999. This is taken from one of the cafes Zell and I enjoy, and with the ship in the background in the bay, a nice cold Hainano, which, by the way, only $4 at this cafe. And usually I'll take my group up here as well. But look at that, nice cold, icy cold Hainano beer with a beautiful view. This is taken at the Belvedere on Moorea. This is Cook's Bay, Opunupu Bay here. And of course, this is me and my better half. Oh, I'm sure glad that belly's going away. Yay! I feel so much better. Anyhow, this is taken with my drone. I love taking my drone and taking pictures of the group and so forth. And as we leave Moorea and heading back to Tahiti, you get this beautiful view again of the jagged peaks of Moorea. And about this time, everyone's starting to figure out, I want to come back. And I want to come with Jerry, of course, again. They want to come back. They fall in love with French Polynesia. They get the Tahitian flu, which there's no cure for, but you can hold off the symptoms of it by a return visit to French Polynesia. This is my group a few years ago, and look at that. Again, about 30 people. I don't like the group to get any bigger than this. And this is during our cocktail party on the last night on the island of Moorea. We always do a private cocktail party so everyone can get their picture with the captain and ask me more questions and so forth. But this is a lovely time to finish our lovely cruise and so forth, is having everyone take advantage of this. And of course, getting that wonderful picture of the captain with you in it. And here's page 1 of this particular cruise here. Again, November 21st through December 2nd. 11 nights from Papeete. Includes the Society Islands and the Cook Islands. Here's the itinerary and what's included. And you notice pretty much everything is included, including some onboard credit I've tossed in there. And you can see everything's included here, your meals. And if you're a past guest of Paul Gauguin and you've had at least 2 prior cruises on the Paul Gauguin, your loyalty discount will be taken off of my great group pricing here. Look at that. And of course, look at One Foot Island here and so forth. Here's the itinerary again. Here's page 2. And again, showing the private excursions I've set up and so forth. The only difference was I changed this from the 4-hour one to the 6.5-hour one, so we get a actual barbecue on my vendor's Motu and so forth. So this will be an all-day one and so forth. And then, so we have private excursions on Wahine, and of course Atutaki, on Bora Bora, and of course on Moorea. Look at that. And you want to know what the prices are? Here you go, right here. Actually, before I do that, let me do one other thing here. Let's do it by, what I want to show you here is, this is from Paul Gauguin's webpage here. So you're looking, this is live right now, and you're looking at the starting price. But then, of course, if you get a Category C up on Deck 7, you can see the price is $10,960 a piece. Of course, no onboard credit. But if you go with me, here's my prices again. So it's about $11,000 a piece for a Category C, which is a balcony. My price is $86.10, and of course I'm giving some onboard credit. And if you are a single person, there are no single supplement fees for Category C or E. And I booked somebody a few days ago in a category on a Category E, and there was 2 cabins left now. So there is still, on the lower end of the price package here, you can get a Category E, which is a large window, and they are large windows. Have a room all to yourself for $66.50. That includes everything. Again, everything's inclusive with, on this particular cruise line, including the port charges and so forth. Everything, even the Wi-Fi. Okay. If you're a returnee, you get some free laundry too, and so forth. But look at that. So there, I'm right up front here. Here's my rates right here. You can go look on the PG website and see what the rates are, and then you'll say, we want to go with Jerry. And remember, let me go back one picture here. I've included some onboard credit, $250 per person. So if you're a couple sharing a cabin, it's $500 of onboard credit and so forth. And of course, everything else is inclusive. Remember, if you are a prior cruiser on Paul Gauguin, at least 2 trips, your loyalty discount will be taken off of my group pricing right here. So, if you're a rear admiral and so forth, like I am, it's 10%. You're going to see, like right here, Category C, $86.10, take off $860 off of that. You're at about $7,800, including everything inclusive again. So again, if you're a single person, again, no single supplement fees on this particular group cruise for Category E and C. Okay, so let me go back to, what do I want to show here? Well, let me just pull my mug up here. I'll make myself bigger. And if you've got a question, actually, let me take this down and put something else up in here. Go back to where we were there. There we go. All right. But anyhow, my mug's nice and large now. Let me see if we got any questions here. Hopefully, we're going to get someone that's going to be brave. Let's see here. I don't see any questions yet. What a bummer. Again, that's the whole purpose. And I know there's people watching. I can see it here. So let's give it a couple more minutes here and see if anybody is brave enough to ask a question and so forth. Remember, there are no stupid questions, okay? And make myself small again. There we go. Bingo. Sorry for the technical thing. You have to remember here, I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the camera guy, and I'm the host. I get to wear several different hats and so forth. Again, this November for the group cruise will be my 36th trip to French Polynesia. And remember, if you go to my webpage, there's all sorts of information there as far as upcoming group cruises, more beautiful pictures and so forth, go to my Facebook page. Maybe I should share those here. Hang on here. Let's do that. Let's drop this. Let's go over here. Here's my Facebook page here, Cruising French Polynesia. So just look up Cruising French Polynesia and you'll find me. There's always new stuff I put up every day. Today, here's the link here for the YouTube video you're watching right now. Here's Amari on Raiatea, here's yesterday snorkeling the aquarium on Rangiroar. So there's all sorts of new stuff here too that I put up every day. And then you also can go to my webpage, which is cruisingfrenchpolynesia.com. Every day under the daily post, I put new stuff up there. Here's a picture of me. I'm the new beer. Yeah, that's me about 20 years ago. And every day I'm putting something up in there. Most days I'm putting something new. Here's the Pagogan in the Lagoon of Bora Bora again with Mount Otumano in the background. The day before, this is some loveliness on the island of Atutaki. But you get to glean from here as well. When you go with me on a group cruise, or even if I book you directly on a private individual cruise, you get access to my blog post here. And my blog post here, there's a couple here that you can still see if you haven't gone with me or going with me in the future. But if you book your future cruise with me, I give you full access to my private blog. All sorts of things. Information about the Pagogan. 4x4 excursions on Tahiti. Another great tour on Tahiti. Which small ship is best, car rental information, podcast episodes, insect, you get the idea, taxi, private taxi drivers and so forth. Again, you only get access to that right now. There's 56 posts right here. If you have signed up for a future cruise with me, let it be one of my group cruises, or if you have had me book you individually, you still get me not only to help you plan your trip, but then you get valuable information like this and so forth, with all sorts of blog information. One more thing here, and let me go back over to here, because I have another page in here, which I'll call my Voyagers group right here, Jerry and Zell's Voyager group. When you sign up for a future cruise, you get access to this, which I give more detailed information that I don't give anywhere else, just for people that are signed up to go with me. For, daily program stuff, current policies, how to reserve your reservations at the private places and so forth. Different information on different islands. Again, airfare stuff and so forth. All sorts of just valuable things. This is my vendor's boat on Atutaki. Look at that. Beautiful boat. You get the idea again. You only get access to this group if you're going with me on a future cruise that you booked through me. So anyhow, you get the idea. There's a lot more than just my YouTube channel and so forth. So you too should go to my other pages and glean more information and so forth. Let's see if we got any questions yet. Just checking here before we call it a day. And I don't see any questions. No questions. So, with that being said, I think we will call it a day. And remember, I do this every month on the first Saturday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time right here on my YouTube channel. But again, you see I have so much other stuff on social media and stuff, Instagram, you name it. There's all sorts of things to glean information from me from. But just go find me. And hey, if November of this year sounds like a wonderful time and you want to save about 20 to 25% off the fare and get some onboard credit, hey, contact me. It's very easy. I go by TahitianBigKahuna@gmail.com on my YouTube channel here. That's TahitianBigKahuna@gmail.com. Or my real name, Jerry Dallins. That's JerryDallons @yahoo.com. And just send me an email and say, yes, I'm interested in that group cruise coming up here in November. And remember, I got cruises in March of next year, in May of next year, and I'll be sharing more for fall of 2027 and the spring of 2028. So lots of things going on. Let me check one more time, see if we got a question. Come on, someone's got to be brave. And nothing, look at that. So we're going to call that a day. And you all have a blessed rest of the weekend. And again, remember, the first Saturday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific time, right here on my YouTube channel, you can go ahead and ask your question. And of course, I'll do a little presentation as well, so you get to enjoy beautiful pictures of French Polynesia. With that being said, you all have a wonderful rest of the day again. Bye-bye.